Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closures.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to be joined by Kailen Rosenberg, the founder and president of Love Architects, a boutique relationship coaching firm specializing in elite matchmaking for high-profile clients. She launched the business in '93 after starting as a self-image coach during her modeling days and a chaotic childhood marked by abuse, evolving it into a national service with services reaching six figures for personalized matchmaking. Kailen authored Real Love Right Now and developed tools like the Love Radar, all while generating hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue as a single mom entrepreneur. With that being said, Kailen, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Thank you. That was really lovely.
I'm glad you liked it. I tried my best, as I always do. So, Kailen, I'm very grateful to have you on the podcast. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to dive right into it.
Okay.
And what I love to do with every single one of my guests is a bit of traveling back in time. So before you even had this company, what were you doing before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for starting the business?
Yeah. Well, as you said, I was modeling, was not expecting to even be doing that, and just kind of found myself focusing in on, instead of the beauty element and the outside and physicality, it was what was really happening with everyone inside. Where was their self-esteem, self-love, self-awareness coming from? And it was falling flat fast. And as you said, coming from a background with a lot of turmoil, a lot of, there was a lot of abuse, there was addiction, all sorts of things kind of hovering around me. I sat back and I looked at this world as a young woman in my early 20s. And as you said, a single mom. I was going through a divorce, actually. And I thought, this is not how love is supposed to be. We all want it. We can all have it. It can be so different. It doesn't have to be so hard. How can I figure this out? Not just for myself, not just for my little kiddo at the time, but also really for everybody, for our planet. And something about that energy took place and took hold. And the next thing you knew, I had these amazing people coming to me saying, hey, I love your heart. I love your words. I love your energy. I love what you say to people. Can you talk to me a little bit? And literally just following my heart, as we hear this all the time, following my heart, following my true passion, following what was going on inside of me, trusting it, and just going for it, whatever it was. The rest of the road, honestly, was just paved.
Yeah, I love
Pretty
this.
crazy.
Typically we choose the business, but it sounds like in this case it was the other way around. And basically the business and the project chose you. So, and I also love the way you put it, from seeing the beauty on the outside and really focusing on what's going on the inside. That's powerful though. I love it. Now, Kailen, I'm pretty sure as any other business owner, entrepreneur, along the journey, there must have been a lot of like adjustments and pivoting all the time. That's perfectly. But we're going to talk about where this journey got you today and what the business really looks like. So my goal in this part of the podcast is really get the listeners to understand, first of all, who is it exactly that you're trying to help right now? And also, what are the core offerings that you have in place for your clients? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, well, it's funny because yes, the business did seem to choose me, especially focused on singles. And I'm very good at helping singles find their person, find healthy love, really starting with themselves. But I work with everyone now. My background is in spiritual psychology, addictions, relationships. And so whether you have a relationship that's failing on any levels, primarily even with yourself, call me, marriages, individuals, whatever it is. But at the same time, if you don't have that relationship strong with yourself and you are an entrepreneur, you're going to find that the road is even more difficult. And not that that's not okay. That is the teaching. You can have the most amazing schooling and formal education from the greatest Ivy League colleges and universities, but it really comes from focusing in on what you know and hear, like here, and moving with and toward that and letting nothing get in your way unless something in your gut says, wait, pause, stop, seek to understand, right? The journey, the lesson, the teaching. And then you move through that. And where it takes you in life is crazy. It's crazy and it's amazing. But go ahead.
Absolutely. I love it. Now, most of the time when we end up having these conversations, typically the business owner goes from working with anybody who's coming through the front door and really narrowing down and niching down. This is a little bit different though. Why do you think it was different in your situation?
Because it's just about humanity, right? So even if we focus on, again, singles or matchmaking or being a love architect, which I'm called and known as, in humanity, we all, as a world, as a planet, we want to get along. We want love. We want safety. We want peace. If we don't figure that out within, again, I'm going to say it over and over, if we don't figure that out within ourselves, what that means on so many levels, right? With everything from all these words we've heard forever and over again, where we almost get numb to them, like, boundaries, codependency, again, self-love. We're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, no, no, no. We need to get that straight because if and once we do, which is what I teach, then I'm not joking. And this is what happened in my own life. Everything just starts to fall into place. So yes, so singles, married couples, individuals. I work with celebrities. I work with multi-billionaires. I work with some of the most powerful families in the world. I work with people that are struggling, that are on welfare. I don't care who you are. If I can help you find love, whatever your passion is, you're going to trust it finally, and it will pull you. So it will pull you into a good relationship, a beautiful marriage, a healed relationship with your kids. It'll make you a better parent. It'll make you a better employer. It'll make you a better employee or partner. Love is not just romantic, right? Love is a
Yeah.
powerful healing energy. And when you trust it, it's cool. And so yes, I have been very blessed in the sense of, I've worked with Oprah. I've been on the Today Show 11 times. I matched all of, Times Square in New York with Good Morning America. I've written books. And never thought that that was going to be my path. But again, I got centered enough to just trust the calling, whatever the calling was. I will say that's the other thing too. When I talk to young entrepreneurs, or I even talk to my own kids, right, graduating college, and they say, gosh, I'm not in the job I want to be in. Or the thing I want to do isn't happening as quickly as I hope. And I'm like, no, it is. It actually is. It's happening because as we hear from other experts, everything is truly happening for you, not to you. Everything is the most magical teacher. And what is so cool, I'm heading near 60. So what I look back at is, oh my gosh, every job, every experience, even everything that I thought was a failure where I tripped and I fell. Holy crap, thank God I had that because that ended up being the best schooling and education that brought me my next six-figure position and opportunity. I'm not kidding. So never, ever worry about what's going on that's hard because there's something beautiful that teaches you within that.
Yeah, this is what I always say though. Like once you truly realize that life happens for you, not to you, that's when everything changes. And it's also funny how you were talking about like we typically try to like skip those steps when it comes to self-love and codependency and everything else because it sounds like cliche to most of the people. But it's funny how no matter what you do, you still end up circling back to it and rebuilding those fundamentals, right? Isn't
You
that the
need, yeah,
case?
yeah. I mean, that's the beautiful teacher of life. It's
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Sometimes
absolutely.
scary. We scratch our knees, but it's okay. It's good.
I love it. Kayla, now that we have a better understanding of who it is that you're looking to help and how you basically approach this creating of the avatar or the ICP or whatever you want to call it, let's bring a more clarity in terms of how the process actually looks like if somebody wants to work with you. There is a lot of people in your industry who are only sticking to one-on-ones. Some of them are creating like group coaching programs. We just want to get a better clarity of how all of this actually works for you.
Well, sorry to be so vague and all over and a little ethereal. What I've learned is that it really can't be cookie cutter other than in the mindset of what is necessary. But each person brings their own story, their own journey, their own need. And sometimes it even turns out to be another story, journey, or need within the same person, right? It's part of really knowing ourselves. So everyone starts with an introduction of an assessment, an interview that I created. Actually, Dr. Harville Hendricks and Helen LaKelly Hunt and I, very well known, famous around the world as therapists. We created this test called the Real Reveal. There's a free test. You can go to mylovedesign.com and take it there. But you take the Real Reveal and it just slowly reveals the truth of who you are, the kind of mate you are in life, not only to yourself, but to a potential partner and just in the world around you. And then you step into a blueprint. So I have a blueprint process. So it's a love design process, that creates a blueprint that shifts and changes, like building a home. I call it your love house. It's your being where everything is stored in your life energetically, where all success and good comes from. And then we tweak it as we go, right? So you are and you become your own kind of general contractor in your life. You might think, hey, I want this partner, this person, I want this partner, I want this hair, I want this body, I want, and then all of a sudden you realize, maybe I don't. Maybe I'm really cool with where I'm at right now. Actually, I really love myself right now. Or maybe I want something different over here. And this was so great that I did this. And to figure that out. So it is a very, I drive a lot of people nuts, and yet I make them, praise God, happy at the end because I am just meeting people where they're at based on what they think their need is. As a client or a customer. But when coaching and working with other business owners and corporations and entrepreneurs, I am getting them to actually do the same thing, to go internal, go within, go to a space of internal peace or spirit or spirituality, even if you're not spiritual, and then look through the eyes of that at everything around you. And then when you do that, everything shifts. And it's something I just recommend that anyone listening or watching, you just try that. Even if it sounds a little out there, you just think, okay, I'm going to get centered in myself. I'm going to see what's bringing me true peace, what's stressing me out, what's triggering something in me. What is the trigger that's the most uncomfortable? Instead of looking at it as something that is honestly there as a block, look at how is it helping me? And how is it helping me meet myself so I can see and recognize everything that is so wonderful waiting all around me and in front of me?
Yeah. I love this. Now, also, let me clarify one thing though, because obviously, when it comes to your industry and specifically the type of work that you do,
Mm.
these are complex problems sometimes, right? So there's a lot of underlying issues that you really have to identify first before you even learn how to cope with it, how to overcome it. So this is not the type of work that you're going to see as an overnight success. So looking retrospectively back at all of the clients that you work with, what would you say is the average duration of you really working with a client to make sure that you set them up for success?
We move pretty quickly. We really do. So I would say sometimes it's one session. Usually my first session's about 90 minutes.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Time is ticking. Life is short. It's precious. Seriously. It's just about
Wow.
shifting someone's mindset enough and bringing them to that true aha moment, like really that, okay. Wow, wait. Get just shifting that shifts more than you have any idea within someone's mind and being, because once they've had that and then they leave me or their session with me, now they're having continual aha moments or awakenings or awareness. And I have a lot of people that have broken down just crying and they call me sobbing. I mean, seriously, just saying, wait a second. Oh my Lord, I feel like I'm almost like you mentioned Avatar before, right? I'm almost an avatar. The world looks different. I'm seeing trees differently. People almost say they feel high. And, and yet it's just, we got you, yeah, we got you off of this numbed out conveyor belt that you've been on since you were a little kid. It's like you just woke up, like from a deep, deep, deep sleep. And so, really, I teach people how to not need me so much, to need themselves, and it's all cool and good, and that they have everything they need. The world does provide. That's why we hear some of the most powerful, amazing success stories are for people that had zero education, had the whole everything in the world going so called against them, but they ended up some of the most powerful people in the world doing some of the most good. That's true for everyone, no matter
Mhm.
what you come from, no matter what. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Just go find yourself, love yourself, see what's calling you, and go follow it and follow it with everything you have. And it's crazy beautiful what happens next, no matter where you are. I've literally taken people that were I had a gentleman who it was the middle of the winter here in Minnesota. It was below zero. His mother told me she couldn't get through to him. He was suicidal. He was addicted to meth. He had just found out he had HIV. He was like, I'm done. I'm checking out. I can't do life anymore. And my husband, my family, and I said, let's bring this guy in. We're bringing him into our home. If he's willing to come, we're going to take him in and we're going to love on him and we're going to get him straight and into this place of life where he can see what he really wants. And when I say straight, I don't, you know what I mean? Straight road.
Yeah.
And And today he's been totally clean for I think it's now 11 years. He has this amazing place in Maui where he helps heal others. I mean, ah, you know,
Yeah.
but
No,
so
this is strong. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't
That's
yeah,
huge. I mean, yeah, this can really be life-changing for a lot of people though, and sometimes all it takes really is that mindset shift, as you said yourself. So now that you put it this way, now I understand why you can so confidently say that, yeah, listen, sometimes it only takes 1 hour with me or whatever that might be. This is beautiful though. I'm also gonna point out one thing. It's interesting to see your approach, just considering where the industry that you're a part of is heading. And I'm not going to blame anybody, but there's a lot of coaches who basically make this sort of like, yeah, they want the client to stay with them for like a year, 2 years, right? And you put it in a way like, okay, listen, I'm going to work with you just to make sure that you don't really depend on me, right? Like I'm going to teach you and you can take care of yourself. So I love the perspective that you have though. And also, Kayla, let me ask you this though, because at the end of the day, this is a business podcast. So I'm going to circle back to what I asked you a couple minutes ago,
yeah.
which was basically the question, or maybe get your perspective on really creating those group coaching sessions or workshops or whatever that might be. Because at the end of the day, if you look at your practice as a coach, when you work with your one-on-one time, there is only so many people that you can serve on a daily basis. So a lot of the times when we talk about scalability of such a project, this is a necessary step to create something where you can basically impact a lot of people at the same time. So really, when you think about scalability for your own company, what is the kind of model that you really work with?
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you for asking that. Well, that's why I created mylovedesign.com. And I actually originally created it for everyone, whether you were married or single. I've since pulled back to starting with singles, but it takes this entire love design process, starting with the real reveal test, the blueprints, and you are guided through, right, your own teaching, your own healing with the voices of myself and the support of myself and a team of really globally renowned experts in spirituality, psychology, dating, wellness, physicality, everything. So that's one way to do it. And it's about
Mhm.
giving back. So it's partnered with Ronald McDonald House Charity, which is really great. The other piece is, yeah, I seem to do best in handling many at a time, so if it's like large group sessions with 300 people at a time or even more when I'm speaking, but getting ready to create a television show. I have a meeting later today, very excited about that. But that's the difference. My heart and my focus is just to help as many as I can in the masses, where then everyone can create their own community and be their own support system. And so it's even hard for me sometimes to plug myself with regard to my love design, or doing a TV show, because it's not for me. It's not about me. It's about us, right? It's about all of us. And so I think the book was a wonderful thing to help many, but I've had a very inside out, upside down, as you can tell, business model, because it's just kind of happened. But it happened again, just as I've said since the beginning of this, because I just trusted. I just thought, you know what, even if kind of like I can't swim well, but I'm going to plug my nose and I'm going to jump off the high diving board. And I'm just, I know there's people around me, they'll come get me or something. There's a buoy somewhere. I just trusted. I just followed my heart. I followed the passion that's been in me since I was small. And voila. And it hasn't come without hardship. It hasn't come without pain. I've been through bankruptcy once. I've been near bankruptcy 3 times. But then the next thing I knew, I had the biggest year I've ever had. Right. So it's just about not giving up. And I know, sorry, I answered your question and went over here. But being a true entrepreneur, right? Starting several businesses, 7 figures. I'm in a place where, and coming from nothing, I know anything can pretty much be done.
Yeah. And the journey can really be funny though. I just realized as you were talking
Oh,
about a couple of times close to bankruptcy, then having the best year of your life. It's just funny how it goes, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah. But you know what? Be true truly to your customer, your consumer. You are them. right? So don't forget that. Don't look at them as the next conquer or the next dollar coming in. Just realize we really are all one. And so if you look at them and treat them exactly with and what you need, they or what they need, you're good to go. So yes, as you said earlier, I'm not here to have people sit in my, in my chair on the couch for, months and months and months. I will work with you as long as it takes, but I want you off moving and helping yourself and other people. And at the same time, when you're doing that, you don't even have to worry about really marketing or advertising because they are your word of mouth constantly. It is the best advertising you'll ever have is the happiest client that knows how much you love them.
Yeah, I'm going to build on top of this though, because typically we always end up talking about what's really happening on the front of marketing and really generating those contacts and leads. Well, looking at your position, not everybody is in a similar position where you created a huge network. You've also been tied in with like very influential people, Oprah, you mentioned it yourself, also writing that book, which also really helps as a source of leads. But really, when you look at the business today, I'm curious, what is really happening on the front of marketing so that you keep having the ability to onboard new clients into your programs and keep changing lives?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think social media is actually it's becoming a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful tool where, as you know, I mean, this is how people are going to see this and hear this. And so it's just an opportunity for people to feel connected to one another. I think that there's a movement happening where we're realizing that this may be the place we can go to connect on a higher level, trust each other more, rather than a lot of the talking heads that we see in other places. We just don't know what's very real anymore. We're realizing this is probably oftentimes one of the most down to earth places and genuine places we can go, even if it's goofy or ugly or whatever. It's just kind of more raw and real. So I think, again, it's just tapping into people wherever they are. There's so much that we have at our feet and our fingertips now. And it's figuring out how to do it, having great support. Oh, my Lord, we are who we are because of the people around us in every direction.
I love it. So, what is the strategic approach, though? I mean, obviously, you just described staying engaged with your audience, really building the value for people so that they see who you are, what you stand for. But aside from creating that content and publishing, what else is happening so that you have the ability to make all of this happen?
Partnerships are massive, right? So whether it's a small local, it could be a little local bookstore, it could be your local gas station. Again, I'm not kidding. Wherever people are, wherever people go, wherever there is a need that is used by humans, go and connect with the management team, connect with the assistant store manager, the whoever it is. Because again, they're just like us. They are also looking for different ways to bring something new to their customer or a higher value add and something that is real and unique. And so look for collaborations, have conversations, invite someone out to coffee or to get a beer. Um, just be. I know this is just so probably atypical from what you're used to, but it's just about humans, right? It's just about connecting and communicating and saying, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is my offering. This is why I do it. This is what makes it a little unique. What about you? This is what I love about what you do. Are you interested in trying something new together? Are you interested in piloting something? Are you interested in testing this out? And I would say probably 7 out of 10 times people are like, yeah, cool. And that was happening for me way before I had anything that was some big accolade of, oh, I worked with Oprah, I was on TV, or it was just like, hey, I'm a human, you're a human. We're both trying to make it work in this world. I like what you've got. This is what I've got. Let's try something together. And then I'm not kidding. The next thing you know, you have that one person. And that's the other thing, too. You can have events and have one or two people show up, and you're like, oh, this was a total bomb. And that one person is the one that introduces you to the next big, massive opportunity or partnership that says, this is really cool. I love this. Would you like to try this over here? Try this with us. And the next thing you know, I mean, it's overnight. When you hear about these overnight success stories and people say, well, no, it really wasn't overnight. It was 20 years of this or 10 years of this. That's true to a degree. But then all of a sudden, that one moment that makes it feel like and look like overnight happens, and you're like, yes, this is so cool. This is so fun. So,
Yeah, I love this though, because everything that you've said, my personal like biggest takeaway from what you just shared with me and the audience is really like if you're coming with a good intent and you're genuinely just trying to provide value and connect with people, this can happen. right? Which is
Yeah.
beautiful though. I know a lot of people end up in a situation where everything they do is really like money centered, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, can it work? 100%. But is it right approach? Well, that's a tough question, though. I love it. Kailen, also, let me ask you this. Obviously, you've created a pretty big operation here. So I'm very curious. Delegation has really become one of the biggest topics on the podcast. Really having the ability to create a sort of ecosystem that actually supports other people coming in. As of right now, have you already created your like internal teams, whether it's for marketing, sales, um, or any other department, or how does it work?
It's good timing for that question. So I've been in business now for 30 years, and yeah, I built that. I will tell you that that was when, and it's interesting again what you deem as success, because I was about to say that's when I was the most successful, but but now I'm almost moving into a higher place. So um, again, your team, the team of people, regardless of whether they are actually working for you, they're working alongside you, they're outside vendors, they're all your team, right? They're all part of what makes anything that you're doing a true success. And so the relationships there are so important. And the being able to delegate, again, that's everyone's style is different. But what I have found is that I've always worked so hard, especially when the focus of my business is love and healing our planet, that we're a family. No matter who it is, we are outside IT guy. He's part of our family. And so I had that. It was amazing pre-COVID. COVID happened. Everyone kind of dispersed. We didn't know what was going on. I decided to create my Love Design, the online dating lifestyle and wellness platform. And I kept a couple of assistants. And then I thought, I'm going to try this on my own. I'm going to solo act it for a little while. I'm going to go back old school to my early 20s and see how this goes. And while some really major things have happened, including this television show we're getting ready to create, um, I miss my peeps. I miss my team. And so I'm slowly pulling some people back and creating that ecosystem again. And because again, the old term, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes like our planet again. It takes us all to be able to work together. And when we do, the most magnificent things happen. And that's when there's true harmony, and that's when there's peace, and that's when there's the most success. And I would also say, too, one of the things that I always did is I sort of, in a sense, when I could, and I created the process the way that I could within my internal teams. Don't be afraid to overpay your staff. Spoil them. Take love on your people that are there for you, because I'm not kidding. It pays in dividends later, and everyone is loved, everyone's seen, everyone's happy, everyone's excited to work and to do their job. They have comfortable lives. Like I have a hard time with these big companies and CEOs that just have all this money coming into themselves, and then they've got their teams underneath them. And I'm like, I don't know. That
Yeah,
might
that's not the way to go about it, though.
that
I
might bite you
agree.
in the butt a little bit at some point, somewhere, sometime. So I just think, yeah, find a great team, love on them, honor them, nurture them. Don't be afraid to delegate, but do it with healthy respect and boundaries. And magical things happen. And then you have people that want to even give more of themselves than you could ever imagine, because you just saw them. You saw them and you honored them.
Agreed.
Not a
1000%.
dictatorship. Yeah.
Yeah. Kaylin, looking at the future of the company, obviously there's a lot of ambition. There's a TV show coming soon. There's a lot of goals that you have set for yourself. Being realistic, thinking about the growth and scale of this company and the kind of impact that you have, out of everything, what would you expect is going to become the biggest challenge to make it happen?
Again, I'm the worst person to ask. Because I've faced so many challenges, and again, like I said, that you can go from one day, well, oh my Lord, I am bankrupt, I am overdrawn in my account, I can't pay this, I can't pay that, and the next day, all of a sudden, it's just when you just don't give up. So, I think it's you could say a challenge could be. They're all the challenges that happen to anybody. It's challenges where, oh my gosh, will I have enough finances to support this? Will I have the right people? Are some of the top people, best people that are the greatest support on the team, do they leave? Do they get sick? Do they, I mean, we can come up with so many challenges that are real, but they still will work themselves out. Just know that they will. It will be okay. I just lost my mother to cancer this last February. It's going on almost a year now. And
Terry.
yeah, thank you. And I thought, my gosh, how am I going to do this now? And there was a beautiful thing in that. Right. Later, I realized just a beautiful thing. And I'm even stronger and more intent on what I'm doing because of her and because of her leaving earlier than I thought. So again, it is also so much. There's a book by Neville Goddard. And I get like, if you haven't heard of Goddard, get into him. It's hardcore, but it also shifts the mind. And it shows the true, really cool power that we all have in such a wonderful way to look at our life and every single thing that happens, no matter how difficult, to realize again, like you and I both said in the beginning, it's all happening for us. It doesn't always make sense, but it will if you trust.
Yeah. Kailen, I gotta say one thing though. You started answering my question by saying, again, I'm the worst person to ask this question to. But somehow, with your answer, you also managed to give us an advice that I typically ask for with every single guest. So I gotta say thank you though. And again, the biggest takeaway here, no matter what you do, if you don't give up, it will work itself out. And I have to agree 1000%. So it's beautiful. Again, sorry about your mom, but I love to see how you're able to work with everything that life throws at you and that it really happens for you, not to you. So just circling back to the thoughts here. Beautiful. Kailen, this has been an incredible conversation. I'm pretty confident that we could do like 2 hours easily and just continue.
Well,
But
you're easy to talk to.
I appreciate it though. And also thank you for taking the time today, sharing the story with me and the audience. I really appreciate your time. If anybody wanted to reach out to you, perhaps even work with you one day, how to go about it?
They can go to kailenrosenberg.com, KailenRosenberg.com. And they can find me on Instagram, Kailen Rosenberg Love Architect. And yeah, just reach out, say hi, and I'm here for you.
Beautiful. Thank you again. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, my dear. Yeah, likewise.
Now, to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you have an agency and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io, get in touch with our team, and discover how exactly we scaled our company from 0 to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on crushing it, and I'll see you on the next one.